Hi, and welcome to Cinema Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I have another movie review for you guys. So, Monster Party just dropped the end of this last week, and it's a film that I'm sad to say was not on my radar at all until I saw a lot of promos for it on Shudder, and I was like,
They're not animals, aren't we? I love this thing. I'm ready to make the Dawsons great again.
this film was so well done. Now, it definitely had a much tighter budget than a lot of, big studio films, what have you, but the cast throughout, such great casting choices, and a lot of really great practical effects, and some pretty good practical gore. Now, there's a few moments in there that were kind of, but, we'll get to that. So, Monster Party. As we start into this, we see three young adults, teenagers, what have you, the 20s-ish age, and they're all struggling. It's two best friends and a girlfriend of one of them. It's Dodger and Iris, which Iris is pregnant, and their best friend Casper. So we very soon find out that they do a lot of breaking and entering.
Yep.
They are having a number of really bad financial issues. Of course, Iris is 2 months pregnant, and she's concerned as to how she and Dodger are going to be able to raise this baby, as well as Casper has a father who has a gambling problem. So we actually watch as he goes to meet this really sleazy bookie that is holding his dad basically hostage, tortures him, actually cuts his finger off, poor guy. And Casper, as a way to try to save his father's life, tells him that he can come up with the money. Just give him one night. So earlier on, we found out that Iris also does some catering gigs, kind of, I guess it'd be more like serving gigs, because she doesn't actually do a lot of it. But she goes into this one private home and works parties for them, for the Dawsons. And they're uber wealthy and, a lot of cameras, all this and that. She's saying there's no possible way that they'd be able to hit that house. Security alarms, cameras, the nines, there's no way. Casper's desperate, and he comes to his friends with what's going on, and that's when she says okay. So the three of them go into this house the same way they have so many others, I'm guessing, and they've decided they're going to work the con, and the two guys are going to loot the place while Iris is being their lookout. Now, what they didn't know is this is a very important party for Mrs. Dawson. And all the Dawsons, actually, because they have a number of friends coming to this event. And this is to celebrate their sobriety. Everyone that is coming to this party is an addict. Now, what were they addicted to? Let's get to that. Apparently, they're all killers, and they like to kill people. They like to hurt people. Yeah. And the ringleader of this party is Milo, who I can't think of the actor's name right now, but he was just phenomenal throughout. The way that he took charge and controlled the entire group up till, it all went crazy. But the idea is he is the reason why all of these killers have either reformed or are working to reform themselves, as you see throughout. But it's quite a collection It's the Dawsons, which it's Mr. and Mrs. Dawson, and their 2 adult children. Now, Elliot Dawson, he is a piece of work, let's put it that way. Now, moving on into the rest of the party, you know, kind of horny, weird young men. Really, really uncomfortable moments with them later on in the film. You're gonna kind of cringe at times, as well as a young woman who's brought in with Milo, who clearly doesn't want to be there. I guess she is his newest student, and she is still fighting the urge, as well as a couple other odds and end members. So while Iris is working the party, while the boys are walking around and actually surveying the whole setup, cameras, what have you, a number of the young men that are a part of this party are making some really inappropriate and suggestive catcalls and remarks toward Iris. This, of course, makes Dodger very uncomfortable, and he, you know, being the good boyfriend that he is, inserts himself wherever to protect his lady. And that, you know, kudos for him. That's definitely his family, who he loves, who he cares about. And unfortunately, we're going to see where that goes. But continuing on, we find out that the Dawson boy definitely is interested in Iris. And he makes it uncomfortably obvious and makes a lot of very inappropriate remarks towards Dodger about this, referring to certain orifices, shall we say, about her, and different suggestions there that'll make you uncomfortable. But as the dinner party goes on, the first victim and the first real thing that starts this all off is Dodger getting caught by the Dawson boy. And he tries to kind of play it off. You know, he wasn't actually surveying their surveillance stuff. He was looking for a bathroom. So he is led to the bathroom, and it's really uncomfortable when he won't leave him alone in the bathroom. So Elliot and Dodger, very uncomfortable conversation until Elliot wants Dodger's hand, and yeah, Dodger's clearly really weirded out by this guy and is telling him to leave him alone, to get off him, until he finally gets a hold of his hand, and he just pulls a knife out and cuts it clean off. And that's when everything gets really bloody, and he turns the knife on Dodger and just starts hacking this poor guy. And unfortunately, he does go down pretty quick. Really, really good use of gore throughout. The blood splatters throughout, really nicely placed there. Very realistic. But that's also around about the time when Casper sets off the alarm system, and everyone in the party is alerted to something is wrong upstairs. That's when Mr. Dawson goes to the security system, and he sees something a little odd. So he and his wife make it to the hallway, and he tells Elliot to come out. And that is when we see Elliot covered in Dodger's blood. And when his mother gets upstairs, of course, she's very upset by this. The rest of the party overall they were really on edge throughout, about ready to kill each other. And a lot of really unfortunate jokes throughout about that. But it's actually when Iris makes it upstairs and she sees what has been done to Dodger that she loses it, and rightfully so. So all hell starts to break loose, where the party goers are attempting to kill both Iris and Casper. Now, the two both flee, being chased by, whoever. Casper is being chased by Mr. Dawson, who, hello, character actor. I cannot remember your name for the life of me, but he is an amazing bad guy. I'm actually really disappointed that he didn't get more out of this film. And, you know, star Nip Tuck. He is fantastic. I really wanted to see more of him in this, but, you know, I understand with a large cast, you can't give as much screen time to everyone. But really violent, him attempting to kill Casper, while Iris is unfortunately being stalked and almost attacked, well, actually attacked by two of the same assholes who were harassing her and her boyfriend earlier on in the film. She actually gets some good licks in, so, you know, good for her. I really did appreciate the fight scene in the kitchen where she's able to slash one of them across the face and actually just inserts a finger in there to, like, hurt him even more. But she ultimately ends up locked in a closet with the two men on the other side of the door, saying they just want her to open the door. You know, they just want to cut her face off. Is that really so wrong? Yeah, it's kind of wrong. But this film throughout, just when you think everyone is a complete psychopath, the youngest Dawson, their daughter, is actually trying to work with both Iris and Casper in a way to get them out, and she states it's because she wants out. So we see a number of crazy things happening. There's a monster relative that's even crazier than this family in this house that we see later on. I really don't want to spoil that scene for you, but just craziness ensues, a lot of blood, a lot of violence, a lot of killing. If you are a slasher fan, I would definitely suggest this film. If you are a fan of kind of reversed versions of invasion films, you'd probably, like home invasion films, you'd probably really enjoy this. This, to me, could have been something that would have been in theaters. Like this, it seems so well done. The script's a little clunky at times, but it almost feels like the script was maybe a little rushed. But throughout the storyline, I did really appreciate the dynamic throughout with all the characters and their different relationships. I did really appreciate. And the use of all the practical effects and stunt work I did really appreciate. So please do give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you have seen Monster Party and whether or not you enjoyed it like I did. Also, if you haven't seen Monster Party, please do check it out. It is currently available on Shudder.com, but you can also find it on Amazon, and I believe you can rent it here on YouTube. You know how they have that where sometimes you can rent movies, whatever. It's available online. Watch it. I really enjoyed it. It's about an hour and a half, so, you know, not a huge time commitment. About half the time that Avengers Endgame is going to be, and you can stream it at your own house. Please do subscribe to Cinemafigures for movie reviews and the like. Or check out any of the older videos I have up for offer here on Cinemafigures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.
We gotta get out of here.
Those kids aren't leaving this house alive.